for whatever reason, he was walking down and then he kind of got onto the path and he just turned, and I just had the camera kind of sitting there in the hopes that he would look. And I just blasted the camera like that. I was like, oh! And I just took the camera back and he's looking at it. I was like, oh my God.
Welcome in to another episode of In-House. This is where we go in-depth, one-on-one with the stars of HSBC Sevens. This week we're kind of turning the tables a wee bit on the sometimes host of Life on Tour, now becomes the guest on In-House, Island Captain Harry McNulty. How are you going?
I'm great. I'm enjoying the hot Singaporean weather.
We'll actually start with the rugby and the Island team coming into this weekend in Singapore. You're in second. How has this Irish team got to be in this position?
We've had like a brilliant, if we're going all the way back to pre-season, we had a really fantastic pre-season leading into the main season. We worked heavily on like a cultural identity within the squad as well. This squad was only assembled in 2015, like the Sevens program itself. So there was no way to sort of build cultural identity. The squad was so new and just kind of learned as we went along, and it just sort of worked that this was the year where we needed to start working on outside of the rugby environment and work on a cultural environment. So had some, I think, 3 bronzes this season, which is the most I think an Irish team has ever been able to achieve. So that's huge for us and we're delighted with that. But yeah, Singapore now, great opportunity.
If somebody asked you, what do you do? If I'm meeting you for the first time, what do you say?
I don't know.
Hi, I'm Harry,
I'm a bit of everything, yeah. Obviously, I'm a rugby player, but outside of that, I'm a creative, content creator. Photography and videography are my main sort of. It's a job outside. You would put a title on it, but realistically, it's what I love to do and keeps me busy and keeps me happy. And I know I travel a lot with the Sevens, but I like to travel even more whenever I get an opportunity. So whenever we get time off, I try and head away and go on some adventures and new experiences and all that kind of stuff. So it's a pretty long title.
You're a multi-hyphen.
Multi-hyphen.
Yeah, we'll go with that.
Rugby player, content creator for sure, with a lot more added on.
How did the content side come about?
It started in 2015, actually very close to when the Sevens was created. It's funny that they've kind of both worked in tandem together. I went and did a solo travel through Bali and the east coast of Australia on the Greyhound bus. I just said, I'll document everything, take the GoPro with me. And then when I came home, I had self-taught myself how to edit photos, how to put some videos together. And then I just went through all of the stuff that I captured and put some videos together. And I was like, yeah, I really enjoy this, and just kept going with it. And like with the Sevens in 2015, all of it kind of coming together. Yeah, the two of them worked out really well, and I've just kind of carried on with it, and it's kind of built a life of its own. How
have you developed the skill, so particularly, I guess, that real artistic side and the eye that you have for it, the photography in particular, because some of your photos are beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
For a very untrained eye, I mean, no, they are great. They're great.
It's like anything, honestly. It's a lot of trial and error.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you just kind of get better over time. I think a lot of people always say don't copy other people. I think the best thing you can actually do when you're starting off in anything is to copy to the exact, because if you can do that, you'll actually learn a lot of skills along the way. And then just, a lot of time at the computer, just enjoying, and I don't find it a job. I love doing it. When I get home from training, the first thing I do is hop on the computer and start editing. I can do it for hours, and yeah.
When you talk about the ones that made you, or photos that make you feel a certain way, have you got some special ones that you recall and do make you feel a certain way?
Yeah, funny enough, I just created a reel about that kind of stuff, but you were doing your research very well.
Well, someone was.
Yeah, I have lots of photos for many different reasons that are very special to me, but in part of that content that I created, I have like 3 surfers in Ghana. Sticks out a volcano in Iceland, and it's like my silhouette with the kind of lava behind me, and then the lion that I saw when I was in Kenya on safari as well. So still one of the photos that people reach out to me all the time about. Like, that's one of my favorite photos I've seen.
It's funny, like thinking about, we have particularly male rugby players, like this staunch kind of masculine thing, and then you've got this creative beauty. As I said, you create beauty. How do they complement each other, if at all? I don't, you know, like, or how, you know.
You just have to make it work.
Yeah.
You know, you just kind of accept it and just go, this is me. This is what I do. This is what I love. Do they work? Do they come together? Maybe not, but this is who I am. So they kind of just have to go together. But that's kind of what I also like about the two of them, is that I can keep them kind of separate in a way. So it's kind of like, not like a double life by any means, but it's like, I can do this rugby, I can really focus on it, I can be Harry McNulty, the rugby player, but then when I want, I can go and be Harry McNulty, the creative.
So aside from the very small matter of Singapore, Madrid and the Olympic Games, what's next on the other side of things? What's the next trip?
I'm trying to think about that. I really want to go do a bit of luxury, cruise down the Nile. Like 7 days, down to Aswan, down to Luxor, like Valley of the Kings, I think, pretty sure it's called. Do the pyramids. It looks incredible, which would be cool.
Always another adventure.
Always.
Excellent. Keep adventuring, keep being curious, keep enjoying the stoke of whatever it is. Harry McNulty, thank you so much for joining us on In-House.
Thank you very much for having me.